It's the one downside. But here, let's look at this problem here for box and whisker plot, which is 85. Let's say 92, 78, 88, 90, 88, 90, 89. 89 is that last one. Guys, do you have an even or odd amount here? We have an odd. There's 7 values. I'm going to go and rewrite these and clean it up, guys. Fletcher, I'm not going to ask you again. 78, then we've got 85, we got 88, 88, and 89. Then you got 90 and 92. So we've got an odd amount here. The odd amount, it's real easy when you find the first, second, and third quartile. So here's the first quartile, it's the median. And then the second and third quartile are the values that are right outside of this. Cool. So this is the second, that's the third quartile. On your test, did you have an even or an odd amount of values? An even amount. So what were those values? Put them in order for me.
185, 189, 190, 185, 188.
Okay. And now I've got an even amount here. Dominique, tell us how you find the median here. No, tell me how you find the first quartile. How did you find the first quartile?
Okay, I did the number between 185 and 188.
Which gave you a what? What's your first quartile? How about for the third quartile? How did you get the value for the third quartile?
I did the numbers between 190 and 188.
So how do you find the median of the entire set?
Oh, the entire set? You just try to find the middle of you do 189 plus 190 for 5.2.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'm having trouble seeing that. Okay. You do these to find the second quartile. If anybody missed this problem and got points taken off, see me after class. Let's move on to something else that's very important here. The second thing that I'm going to talk about, Kathleen, please leave your hand down. I'm going to talk about the second thing here. talk about graphing and the independent and dependent variables, the first thing that you may have, if you missed this problem for, I think it's what problem is that, 2022? Talk about problem 22. If you mislabel problem 22, the independent and dependent axis, the x-axis and the y-axis, if you didn't label it, you missed points. You gotta label those points, those axes. The second thing, you might actually say, hey, you know what, Mr. Gillespie drew this crazy arrow right here on both sides. And basically what I'm telling you is you wrote them down, you labeled them, but you put them in the wrong spot. So you gotta ask yourself, when you're reading through this, is there a relationship, and if so, what one depends on the other? Does the test scores depend on how much you exercise, or does how much you exercise depend on your test scores? Or your test scores depend on how much you exercise. And if you wrote it out correctly, you would have noticed here that you had all these little dots just all around the page, but all kind of localized, and they weren't moving upward or downward. So what you really found was that you had no correlation. There should be no correlation. If you graphed it correctly, you'd find, well, there's no correlation. However, we didn't talk about a trend line in this classroom. I didn't tell you guys how to plot the correlation. So if you guys put an upward trend or a positive trend or a line of S6 that was moving upward, I didn't mark you wrong because we didn't talk about how to plot the line. However, if you said that it was a positive correlation, I marked you wrong. Because you should be able to look at the graph and say there is no correlation. You should be able to look at the points and say there's no correlation. Well, let's look at something real quick. If you mixed these labels up, if you actually got them backwards, when you went to plot them, you probably had something like this, where they became localized, but it looked like there were a couple of points down at this lower point. And if that's the case, you would have actually assumed most likely, yeah, there's a positive trend. So you could have missed points on mislabeling, and then actually saying there's a positive trend because you read the graph. Although you read this graph correctly, this graph is not the correct one because of test scores and hours are not in the right place. So the things that I want to bring home here are where the independent and dependent labels go. You've got to make sure that they're done right, or you'll read a graph wrong. You'll read it backwards. Pretty much all that I wanted to say about the test. If you have questions about your grade or questions about the test, we'll talk after class. We'll talk after class. We'll talk after. What? Okay.
What's that whenever you're finding like the first teacher one
Time out. I got someone talking in the back. Thank you.
I thought you just do like since we're the middle quartile or whatever, the B one.
I want you to talk after class. Okay. I understand, but when I went over this, I said talk to me after class. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say you thought you took the outside portion of the totally good. We're going to talk after class, okay? Cool. So here, to find out what your grade is, all you do is you say, okay, if mine says -2 on the top or on the front of the grade, what I want you to do is say 52 minus, well, minus the total of that you missed, which is 2. So you get a 50, right? And you take this and divide it by the total possible. Total possible is what? 52. So 50 over 52 would be, it would give you your percentage. That's how you find out the percentage. Now, if you missed those two problems that I talked about with box and whisker plot, come and talk to me after. Cool stuff? All right. Yes, you take the 52 minus what you missed. Take that number and divide it by 52.
What I would like you all to do while you're figuring out these grades are these two tables. Stand up, go grab your notebooks, and come back to your desk.